All right, we're back. Okay, let's have a look again. Okay, so recap. I have a class called polygon. A file called polygon.h, and I have a class called rectangle here, where I've set up how my class needs to function. And in main, I would like to create the rectangle object. So what I do is rectang rectangle. So let's take R1, and in this case, I'm going to send like two values, 3.2 and 8.5, because it received the constructor received two variables, right? Okay, 3.2, 8.5. Okay, and that's for the object creation. And I'll have R1 calling the display function. Do I call it display? I'm sorry. Display function. Okay, right, and that's it. So I'm going to run this program and see if it works. All right, see, the area is 27.2. Okay, so the logic is simple. I create a new object called R1. Through the constructor, I assign two values, 3.2 and 8.5. 3.2 will come to V, 8.5 will come to HE, and from here I assign 3.2 to W and 8.5 to H. Okay, and this is something new that we have discussed today, right? Where this is exactly the same when you do this. W equals to, okay, sorry, and H equals to H. Exactly the same, right? But it is just another option if you want to do it the other way. Okay, so run the program, you can see it is the same thing. So 3.2 and 8.5, 3.2 will come to V, 8.5 will come to HE, and from here I will store 3.2 to W, which means the W will have a value now rather than a garbage value before, and 8.5 will be stored in H, and H will have 8.5 now, and we don't have area yet. And then I'll use R1 to call function display. When I call function display, in function display I'll call CALC, the function calculate, which is a utility function, right? A private function, and it cannot be called in main because it is private, but then it can be called in display. And then see out the area is area. Okay, after calculate the value of area, which is 27.2, and then the display will print the value 27.2 in this case. All right, so done with that. Okay, that's rectangle. Okay, and you know, I can have another class. Just copy this. Okay, and now, right, I can change this to triangle. Triangle, right? So I have two classes, one class rectangle, the other class triangle, and then same thing, I will have the constructor for triangle. The storing of the values is the same, exactly the same as that. Then calculation is a bit different because it is W times H times 0.5, right? That is basically the calculation for triangle, right? And the only difference here that we can see is the calculate, and then the display is the same, calculate is the same, and I can go to main, I can create now another object. I'm going to call it T1, and this is of type triangle, right? I'll use the same value, 3.2, 8.5, and then I'll have T1 dot display, right? Same thing, as you can see. So I have created one object called R1 of class rectangle, another object called T1 from class triangle, and I use R1 to call display and T1 to call display, right? So if I run this program now, you'll see that I have two values, 27.2 and 13.6. So this is for the rectangle, and half of the values is the triangle. Okay, so now let's analyze the code. As you can see in our code here, right? Okay, you can see that class triangle and class rectangle and class triangle almost everything is about almost the same, right? The data members is the same. The constructor works the same way, all right, but constructor cannot be inherited in any way, therefore it is different. And the display work the same. The only difference that we have here is rectangle, I mean the constructor, and the calculate function, while the data member of WH and area is the same and the display function is the same. So what we can do now is we can use inheritance, okay, to create another class called polygon, where rectangle and triangle can both inherit from polygon, and we can store all the similar things from class rectangle and class triangle in polygon so that they can be shared. How do we do that? Okay, so first, I'll do it slowly. We create class polygon. Okay, and in class polygon, okay, I'm gonna have data member WH and area, because you know that the two similar things of class rectangle and triangle is the data members and the function display, right? So I'm going to copy both of this and put it in class polygon, right? So let's have a better view here, and this is public. Okay, but in order for rectangle to be able to access WH and area, I cannot leave this as private, because if I leave it as private, WH and area can only be used within class polygon. So what I do is I'll change this to protected, something new today, okay? Protected, okay, protected. So if I declare things to be protected, okay, then, okay, these are the things that can be inherited by rectangle or triangle, but it can only be accessed by the child or the derived class and not anything else. Okay, right? So protected WH and area. We have display here, which is the same thing, okay, as calculate. So what we can do next is we will delete this from rectangle. We will delete this from triangle, okay, and we can also delete display, and we can delete display. Now we have shortened our codes a little bit, okay, and we can have polygon, but we haven't inherit them yet. So how to inherit is very simple. It is with a colon, okay, and I can put public polygon, and the same line, okay, is to be applied to triangle. So what does it mean by class rectangle colon public polygon? So if I'm using class rectangle here, class rectangle is going to inherit from polygon, okay, in the public settings. Okay, you can inherit with public, protected, and private, but for a syllabus we'll just put it as public first, okay, which you can actually see in our previous slide, okay, the access specifier here. So you can see members of the same class. Then if it is public access, then everything is yes for public, protected, private. If it is derived, then you know it is yes, yes, but when private it is no. And if it is not members, then you can only access public and protective, no and no, right? So this is also another table that you can have a look of what differences does it make. Okay, so in this case, I have already inherit polygon for rectangle and triangle. Okay, and next we will see how we can generate this in main. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.